we have been dealing with in our manner. We are here to present our newest project, and the way that we're going to proceed this morning is that I'll have a brief introduction, and then we'll give the floor to the Ecuadorian embassy, where Julian Assange will talk about the project, and then we'll have questions and answers afterwards. So I think we are all ready to proceed, and we have connections to the Ecuadorian embassy. The project that we are introducing this morning is the release of 1.7 million documents from the State Department pertaining to the area of 1973 to 1976. This we are making available to the general public in a searchable database, merging these 1.7 million documents with the already released cables in the Cablegate projects, the 251,000 cables. The documents from 1973 to 1976 are from a very turbulent period in our history, and they are casting a light on the U.S. relation and U.S. involvement in many countries, for example, in Latin American dictatorships, so they are of great importance. These documents were all previously classified, but they are now available, but in a very difficult format. It is very hard to search for these documents for academics and journalists, and very hard for the general public. I urge anybody to try to find information there. You have to search in various pockets, and it's very hard to assess them. One form of secrecy is the complexity and the inaccessibility of documents, and it seems to be that the current government is not making a huge effort in making these historical documents accessible. In this way, we are providing a public service. We are doing actually what the government should be doing to make this easily accessible to everybody. Now, there has been also a very serious trend of reversal of declassification, which has been clouded in secrecy as well. In the mid-90s, President Clinton, by an executive order, ordered a declassification of a trove of documents. This was reversed in secret under the Bush administration. It was revealed in 2006 that more than 55,000 documents that had previously been declassified had been reclassified, and this was by the demand of CIA and other agencies. And it was revealed in 2009 that this was an ongoing trend, a very serious one when the administration tries to hide documents that were previously available. You might be tempted to say that the government cannot be trusted with these documents. So we took the matter in our hands, and we are now making this available in a very accessible database where you can easily search for stories that are of great significance. We are working in this project with 18 media partners that have had some time to assess these documents, and they found stories that they have been publishing, or have published already, or will publish in the next hours or days. They are pertaining to information that are of great interest already today. We can see in these documents that the foreign minister of Sweden, Carl Bildt, Bob Carr, the foreign minister of Australia, had very good relations with the U.S. government at this time, and we can be called informants of the U.S. government. Now, I think it's best that we now connect to London, where Julian Assange is connected via video link. Can you hear us, Julian?
I can hear you, Washington. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you go ahead now?
Thank you for that introduction, Kristen. Orwell once said that he who controls the present controls the past, and he who controls the past controls the future. our analysis shows that the US administration cannot be trusted with its control of the past. Over the last year, Wikileaks has worked on this project, the public library of US diplomacy, putting together 2 million documents, 1 billion words into a format that is unrivaled. We seem to have lost you, Washington. Hang on a moment.
To look here. That's where you should look. What's wrong?
Is this how it's going to show on that side?
Yeah.
Can you proceed, Julian?
Are we back? Okay, great.
We're back.
There's a poor quality interception around the embassy, I'm afraid. Orwell famously said that he who controls the present controls the past, and he who controls the past controls the future. And that is because of the vital role that history plays in deciding our interpretation of what is happening in the world. The US National Archives censored all searches to the word WikiLeaks. Following that revelation, we looked closely at what else was going on. And in fact, as Kristen said, from 2006, it became apparent that the US National Archive had reverse classification of over 55,000 pages of material. That a great analysis done by the National Security Archives, a group run out of George Washington University. We have pulled together 2 million documents, 250,000 documents from our previous release, Cablegate, 1.7 million documents pulled from the National Archives, and put them together into an integrated format, a search system that we are very proud of. And I would like to thank our technical team and researchers and donors for putting together this really quite impressive piece of work over the past year. Today, our 18 media partners on this project. We seem to have lost you, Washington. Can you confirm?
Yes, you are on now again.
Today, the 18 media partners on this project have started to release some of their stories. Now, that is a result of information, in some cases being hidden by secrecy, but more often being hidden in the borderline between secrecy and complexity. Already today, in India, the ruling party, the Congress party, has been shaken by the revelations that Rajiv Gandhi, part of the Gandhi political dynasty, was involved in what appears to be corrupt Swedish arms deals as a middleman or a broker for family influence within the Indian government. Now, the Congress party has condemned WikiLeaks over that matter, and I say to the Congress party of India that the corruption in the Gandhi political dynasty is well known all over the world, not just as a result of this corrupt Swedish arms deal case, but many other cases. And it's about time that the Congress Party of India took its sandals off before entering the corridors of power. In Australia, as Kristen has said, the Australian Foreign Minister Bob Carr, who is the former Premier of New South Wales, has been revealed to be a US Embassy informant not when he was in the position of politics, but when he was in the Australian Union movement. And in fact, that was a priority during the 1970s, and in fact remains a topic of influence within the State Department today, to penetrate unions and co-opt union leaders. In the case of Australia, that includes apparently Bob Carr. In the case of other countries in Latin America, it seems that the stories that we heard from Latin American activists during the 1970s, well, they were more or less true. The way the US tried to corrupt the union movement, the Catholic Church within Latin America. From Spain, the Spanish, well-regarded Spanish journal Publico has found that the King of Spain, King Carlos, conspired with the White House to gain extra influence in Spain, and the United States saw his promotion as an essential element to get NATO to accept Spain, which would help the United States keep their US military bases there. In Brazil, to justify aid to the US military dictatorship, the United States created a torture exemption for Brazil. The Brazilian military had found to be committing acts of torture. The United States Congress had put in place a system to prevent aid to torturous dictatorships, but nonetheless, by massaging an exemption loophole, $66 million in credits for purchases of weapons by the military in Brazil was enabled. Of course, if we look at those credit purchasing schemes, it's not about Brazil. It's not about the countries that are buying weapons. Of course, what it's about is tax transfer within the United States from one sector to another sector, namely the sector of people who pay tax, essentially the middle class, to very influential military contractors like Northrop Grumman, Boeing, Raytheon, General Dynamics, etc. In Italy, our partner Espresso and La Repubblica has revealed that just 5 weeks after the coup of Pinochet against the Allende government in Chile, the Vatican was telling the State Department that it had grave concern, and the Pope had concern about the way that the international left was describing the coup. So the Vatican was advising the US on how to massage the Allende coup in Chile. Huffington Post Italy out this morning with a diplomatic communication involving a secret agreement between the Communion and Liberation Front over the Communist Party, both parties, and the individual concerned, Luigi Giussani, of relevance today in Italian politics. In Greece, our Greek partner Tania has done great work, have material out nearly every day this week.
If you're referring to the stories that Julian is talking about, the highlights of Julian, are you back on?
Yeah, I am. I have been apparently preaching to the ether for a few minutes.
Only for about a minute and a half, I think. So you were talking about the Pope in the Vatican.
Yes, that our Italian partner, the best regarded news magazine